America!
What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright guys, so we got more material from Brother Alpha Busa. And this is Big D's guide to avoiding arrest. Okay, now this is something interesting. This is an audio log. Once again, this is by Brother Alpha Busa. Alright, so this is a very long video. It's well over an hour long. So I'm going to be dividing it up into probably 3 parts. Alright, so this today will be part 1. So let's see what he's got for us. And let's see. Why isn't this working? Okay. Alright, so let's go. So now we get to see what the cops are going to do, especially if the cops find Kevin locked up in the basement.
Now, in case you weren't paying attention, listen close. This is how it all happened. The newly fed Diabloist, known to you as Piotr, broke out of our cellar and hunted us for sport. Due to drinking 2 of his fellow vampires, he had gained immensely more potent vitae and had gone from a 12th generation rube to a humongous, thick, sickoid monster of the 10th generation. So stupendous he became, he managed to break through the cellar door we spent half of Marcus's weight in gold on. The one that could take a force of 2,475 minas. Which would be about 825 from that kilograms measurement, and definitely not 18,000 in your American caveman measurements, door. Please remember my presence. Anyway,
America.
Next thing we know,
this is
someone in the
America.
house, invisible. And Marcus decides to jump out the window, which has him sprained both his legs, and then they're also shot with a gun, unrelated.
Unrelated.
Our plan was to head for the carport roof, but then I was dragged out the very same window Marcus had opened, and I landed on the stony barrow by the house. I was so exhausted by that, I decided to go to sleep.
Decided.
I saw Marcus had not dragged me down the road following our secret safe passage. In turn, my son-in-law then expertly tries to lure the vampire out onto our front lawn. But he does not fall for it, and that lands Marcus in especially hot water. Fortunately, that disgusting fucking dough-brain did not use his full strength to kill my son. I think he wasn't trying to kill any one of us, so he could line us up in a sick, vampiric, all-you-can-eat buffet. Worse still, I suspect he may have followed a foolhardy urge to embrace us all and bury us in a mass grave. We may have all been damned this day, had it not been for what happened next. My son Dor's ingenuity struck him in more ways than one, as our front yard had been converted with custom, sensitive, anti-freak minds for a situation much like this one. And with a well-placed shot by my beautiful, wonderful, amazing, and fantastic prodigy of a grandson, the Nosferatu known as Piotr was swiftly knocked into torpor. Not long after, day came to us, and Piotr's sentence was ultimately rendered by sunlight. Later today, I'm going to gather the leftovers of his conflagration. I'm planning on compressing it into a diamond to show that even the ugly of us can be made magnificent. Perhaps I will attach it to a ring and give Marcus a spectacular wedding band. But, yeah, before that we were arrested. And I don't talk to cops.
Alright. Good day, sir.
This,
My name is Detective Sergeant Guy Chapman. I'll be interviewing you today. Are you, feeling comfortable? Your jaw situation any better?
Yes, a bit.
You know, how about I make us some coffee? I'll be right back.
You do that, detective. You best do that. If there's one thing we know for a fact as hunters, it's that the vampire is everywhere. Society is led blindly by the deeply ingrained wiles of these creatures, and especially that of their most guileful sect, the Camarilla. infiltrate every facet of human life. Industry, government, all forms of organization, our very infrastructure, even family. You can never be sure where the ears might be, and so you must always be primed to plug them.
Ooh.
Let me set the scene. I sit inside the Norfolk Constabulary in the township of Wales next the sea. I am just about to be interviewed. My goals are to see if the police here have been compromised by the Camarilla, to not give anything away that could be seen by them as a masquerade breach, and, of course, not be arrested. This will be harder than you might expect, because I'm going in with a handicap.
Right. Here you go. Kevin, was it?
You can call me the great and mighty Kevin if you'd like. All my friends do.
Really?
Oh, man.
Oh, and thank you. I do love my cafe.
Wow, great and mighty Kevin. That sounds fantastic. Where'd you get that title?
Oh, it's a long story. From my accounting days. Kind of stuck as an in-joke, and it makes me feel pretty great and mighty in the day-to-day. You don't have to use it. It was just a funny little joke.
Well, I always respect titles, ye great and mighty one. You better believe I'll be using it.
Well, thank you, Detective Sergeant.
Oh, man, we're going to have a time of it today, I'm sure. But, I must inform you that we're recording this. Camera's up in the corner there. There's also these microphones picking up our voices. So, if you want to speak to us, I'd ask you speak loudly and clearly, so the microphones can pick you up the best they can. All right?
That should not be an issue.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
good,
He
very
speaks
good.
very loudly.
Thank you.
I already knew the camera and the microphone were not working. In preparation for the inevitability of an arrest, I make it a habit of sneaking into the local constabularies around Warham, and I sabotage their equipment.
Dude!
The constabulary is incredibly small, with only a scant few officers working there at any given time, and their interrogation cells are as virgin as their wit. Breaking into a small police station is about the easiest thing you can do. Whilst often on the lookout for break-ins, they never expect their own quarters broken into. The hubris of the watchmen to think themselves unwatched. They always fall for the officer Ernesto trick.
What?
So, it's just the two of us otherwise. Right now, it's 14:34 p.m. If you look at the watch, could you confirm?
Oh,
2:34.
Oh, yeah. 14:34. It is indeed the number on your timepiece.
All right, yep, very good. So, today is the 1st of December 2006 at Norfolk Constabulary in Wells next the sea. Can you agree with all that?
Oh, yes, happily confirmed. I love Wales next the sea. I might go ride the miniature steam train later while I'm here. It happens to be open this time of year.
Oh, that right?
A big adventure on the world's smallest public railway. How could I pass it up?
Oh yeah, true. Rode on it with the kids last summer. They adored it. It passes through some drop-dead gorgeous vistas. You really get to see Norfolk from another angle, you know?
Oh, for sure. Did you know there's a ghost platform along the track? Extremely frightening.
Oh, the abandoned one. Yeah. There's also that Iron Fork camp. That one's in Warham, right? Actually, that camp's pretty close to where you were today, isn't it?
Oh, yes, the camp is quite close to my dear friend's home. We don't go there much. It's quite the dreary spot. Smells of death. The Iron Age fort, that is.
Death?
A corpse was found there a few years ago. Some poor sod who had been missing since the 90s. Looked like he'd been lying there for a while and no one picked up on it.
Goodness. Was it any one of you who found it?
No, it was my friend's neighbor, Caracas. He found it while he was doing his daily routine of digging ditches into places that do not need ditches.
That's
Believable.
very interesting.
I was gonna say that's believable.
But perhaps we should get on with the actual interview. What do you say?
Oh, sorry. Absolutely. I wouldn't want to waste any more of your time than necessary.
No. It's all right. You're all right, Kevin. That's totally fine. I'll just need to go through some more formalities with you before we can begin.
A formal lad. I love it.
Oh, not for long. It's pub time after this.
I love drinking! An activity I do.
Oh, God.
I don't know if you know this, but the police in these lands are quite unlike what you see in the mainstream stories of the modern age. They seek to build a different rapport, following the peace method of interrogation.
Good cop.
With this, they primarily wish to disarm their suspect by making them as agreeable and comfortable as they can be, as those embraced in comfort after a stressful situation are far more likely to tell the truth. Knowing this, I intentionally sink into a casual and comfortable role, exactly where the officer wants me, so they would be more likely to believe I'm being honest. This is an advanced deception technique I invented, a technique I refer to as...
You didn't invent it, dude. Lying.
So,
Oh my
you do
God,
not have to say anything, but it may harm your defense if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand what I've just said?
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Could you put it in your own words?
But I shouldn't say anything weird.
Well, you've already failed that part.
At that moment, I feared my cover was blown. I'd have to fight my way out. I prepared my hidden poison blade.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
What a relief.
All right, so that's your right to silence. Just need to have that put out. So, could I ask for your full name for the purpose of the interview?
My name is Kevin Wetsworth.
Do you have a middle name?
Malcolm.
Like Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes, everyone makes that joke. I can assure you, I'm not as wild and wacky as Malcolm in the Middle. And
I didn't care for that show.
A normal
I remember
man.
that show. There were some episodes that I really did love.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to slap a dead horse. My name's Guy, so, well, I understand it when people are jokers about your name.
Oh, that's completely understandable, my guy.
Oi now. You sure you aren't as wild and wacky as you are on TV?
Well, maybe a tad, maybe just a little.
All right, well, could I get your birthday as well,
hell?
Malcolm? Oh, sorry, Kevin.
Oh, that's all right. The worms will get us all one day.
The
It's
what?
October 31st, 1979. My birthday, I mean.
Oh, that's pretty fun. That's All Hallows Eve.
Yes, it's also National Magic Day. The day Houdini died.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. So, a few more questions. First off, what's your address? You can go through it all.
The officer went through a few more questions, nothing noteworthy, until eventually
Good, they
the
skipped all
actual
that, thank
interview
you.
began.
So, what happened this morning in your reckoning?
Oh, do you want me to go through the entire morning?
Anything you think might be relevant.
Anything
All right.
strange. Like a guy
So I've
catching
been up all
fire
night.
in your living room.
Caught any sleep yet? You might call me something of a night owl. Yes. I was meeting up with some old friends. We haven't met in a good while. Years and years as I've been out traveling. So I was driven to the house a few days prior. We had a good time, and then... Well...
It's all right. Take your time.
This is where it all begins. There are already several missing persons reports in and around the area of the tunnel entrance, since that is where I first found them. And since Sabbat members are usually reported as missing people themselves, I wanted to use this to my advantage. However, I already know the tunnels are a particular target of Camarilla interest, and also that the Anarchs have declared the area under their domain. Assuming the police are compromised, any mention of the tunnels will lead to suspicion. But I might be able to use it to throw off the scent.
Okay.
It was early in the morning, a few days ago. We took a fun little nightly road trip to an area just between Walsingham, Binham, and Hindringham, right along Wells Road. We went there because, well, I'm kind of big into cold cases, and I know there's been some missing persons reports in that particular area, so we just kind of went there. I know it's irresponsible.
It's all right.
But it was just such an enticing prospect.
All right. I absolutely understand. You're just out for some excitement. You're not
Never
the
do
only
that.
ones, let me tell you.
Well, I'll be honest, it does get worse. I kind of...
Yes?
Well... I try to entice the officer into presenting me with a leading question. If he is a Camarilla agent, he will know about the tunnel situation to some degree. What degree, I'm not sure. But he will want to take any possible masquerade breach into account. If he takes the bait, I will be made more certain.
Take your time. I can understand if it's hard to talk about.
Him take it. Now you're laying on way.
Take your time. Look, I'm not sure how you're feeling.
Yeah.
If you
You're laying on
feel
way.
self-conscious about it, that's fine. We all make mistakes.
Is he biting? Yes. It was well, yeah, quite a gaffe on our part, I'd say. Come now, just a little more.
It was all related to the missing persons report, I take it.
Almost. I think so.
You think so? Did you find anyone, or...
Oh.
Found anyone? What does he mean? Does he imply that he thinks the missing people might just be lost? Or is he implying we might have found someone else there? He thinks the former. I might be safe. If not, how will he respond? Well, yes, we did.
And that was the same people who you invited home a few days ago.
Oh, what the fuck? What kind of question is that? That we invited home? That is far too specific to be a coincidence. And that's when I realized my sons, my son-in-law, my grandson, they were all interviewed before me. Which, of course, was the intention, but they were fucking up on their testimonies. I can't believe it. After everything I've taught them, invited home? Why would he say that? Who said that? Ah! Wait.
Oh boy.
Of course. Son-in-law. It must have been my son-in-law who said that.
No, it was
his
Marcus.
anti-cop training was never concluded. He never got past the Grand Theft Police Car seminar. Of course.
Wait a minute.
He wanted
There's
to present
questions
this
here.
as having been a good-natured affair on our part. The fool. I must be incredibly careful. But I need to harmonize these different testimonies. Yes, we took pity on them.
Pity, you say?
Of course. I'm sorry, the missing people. Shall I say? I recognized some of them. Or at least one of them. From the missing persons posters.
Noted.
Wait,
Just a
so if they
moment
went to
before
the
we
house,
continue.
did they
I
find Kevin?
braced myself for combat, for the SWAT teams to come pouring in, for fists and bullets to fly. But instead, I was faced with a more powerful and evil foe.
Here,
Paperwork.
Oh
this
God, yeah.
is an index of many missing persons in the local area. Could you flip through? Tell us if you recognize any of these people.
My suspicions, bright and aroused like an ornery male peacock. I flipped
Pause.
through the names. Most were passingly familiar to me. Ready Hunter with their salt as preparation as even more important than firepower.
True.
However, these ones I'd expect were just victims of the Sabbat. No faces I recalled seeing elsewhere. I struggled with myself. Should I mention a name at random? No. Foolish. It could be a trap to invalidate my testimony. To boot, I didn't recognize all of them. Were some of the others vampires? I struggled and struggled, till by pure chance,
You found someone?
I came across a familiarly unfamiliar face. Piotr.
Yes. Let me take a gander. Oh,
Was he a pilot?
actually, it's Peter. Peter Piotrowski.
His face was warped, handsome beyond recognition.
Beyond
Poor
recognition.
fellow. No wonder he was such a prick.
Was he there that night?
Yes. Though he had a bandana on for the most part. I recognized the hair, the eyes, the name. Yes. Yes, he was there that night. And with no body to disprove my story, that should be alibi enough for any Camarilla constabularies.
Interesting.
Okay, stopping it there. So, yeah, so that was the first part. We're going to end it on interesting. It just seemed like a good spot. Anyway, so that was part 1 of Big D's Guide to Avoiding Arrest, Hunter the Parenting audio logs by Brava Alpha Buse. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like this video, subscribe, help us to reach that 100,000 subscribers. And don't forget to vote in the art competition finalists. You can check out the poll on my community page, on the main page. All right. So I will see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye bye.